Hello you stonkers and stonkettes. How are you diddling today? Today I'm going to talk about being weary. Weary of all of this bollocks that's going on. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So the other day, I was just going about my business as one has the custom. And it just, this wave came over me of, like a metaphorical wave, obviously, of like, oh, for God's sake, I'm just so tired. I'm so tired of all of this stuff that's going on. Like, it's been going on for yonks. It's like never ending. I mean, I don't know what you think about things now. It's just, it is one thing after another. Literally, and you know, like old people say that, it's one thing after another. It fucking is. It's one thing after another with no break. Like since the pandemic, we have not had a break. Have you noticed that? There hasn't been a moment of peace. It's, you know, that, oh, I think everything's all right now. No. I mean, it was the pandemic, and then as soon as that was coming to an end, that was running out of legs, and then it was the war, the Ukraine, and then we went on, and then there was Israel, and oh my God, it's just like, please God. And in between that, there've been salt and peppering stuff like the pox. Remember the pox? Remember the pox? Oh, I rather think fondly of the monkey pox now. It's like it came and it went. And there were little videos of men making love to monkeys on, you know, just to show that's where it came from. Yeah. Little Indian men. I remember seeing a video of a little Indian man making love to a little Indian monkey. Really, why that video came to me, I don't know. It was on a short. I didn't ask for it. I didn't want to see that. And I mention it not because I thought it was good. And I've tried to sort of make it sound a lot better than it was. You know, a little Indian man making love to a little Indian monkey. You know, it sounds palatable, doesn't it? It sounds toward acceptable. It wasn't. It wasn't acceptable. It wasn't acceptable that was given to me. And I don't think it was on YouTube, but I think it might have been on another platform like X or something like that. I thought, why? Who would want to see that? Who would want to share that? And not only that, who would take a video of that? And the man that was doing it, was he okay with the video being taken of him doing that? I mean, you know, it's just there's so many questions and so few answers. Anyway, so I was feeling really, really like, oh, I just need a break from all of this. Just please a break. Do you feel like that? Just please a break. Anyway, so I picked up my phone, talking about let's have a break, went straight into Telegram and looked at the Yorkshire lass. I must say, a thumbs up to the Yorkshire lass. She does a lot of good work. And I know she's been working pretty much since the pandemic. I don't know whether she was doing stuff beforehand, but pretty much since the pandemic. So, or maybe more. And she put a post going, my God, I am so tired. I feel so weary. It's like I can't, you know, all of this trying to keep people upbeat and thinking positively. And oh my God, I'm worn out and everything. I need a break. And I thought, well, obviously there's just something in the air. Or was it, or is it, that so much is happening now? So much that we're in overwhelm. I feel like I'm in overwhelm. I cannot keep up to speed with what the hell is going on. It's horrible. And anybody who is up to speed with everything, impossible, I think, but if you were, you know, they must be absolutely knackered. You must be knackered because it's awful. I mean, they're just so, it's just awful. So anyway, I was asking the emissaries about that, and I was saying, hey, you know, this is how I felt. And then I saw that somebody else who was doing like a similar role. I mean, the Yorkshire lass, she posts the amount of stuff she posts. You know, I'm lazy bastard compared to her. I just do 2-3 videos a week. She's like, wham, bam, 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 bam. Anyway, I said to the emissaries, do you ever get weary of this? And they said, no, we don't get weary because it's our job. And I suppose up there, got bags of energy, haven't they? And you know, they're a bit sort of distant from it. It's a bit like watching a film, isn't it? Like, oh yeah, but the film doesn't wear you out. The people who were in the film, I suppose, are the ones who get worn out. And they said, no, we find it frustrating sometimes. And they said, especially now. And they were saying that because the line of the plan they said that it isn't linear. Everything isn't moving in a linear fashion. It's changing constantly, dependent on what is happening, you know, for good and for bad. And so they said that we are constantly having to re-plan our role, readjust, make allowances, offer something different, do something different. So they find it frustrating because they're having to change a lot about, you know, it's not like just, well, this is where we are and it's always going to be like this. And that's because this is a very mutable experience. And I think that's part of the deal, isn't it? It's part of the plan that this is changeable. And it's always going to be, you know, it's a battle. Good and evil, isn't it? That's the issue. And in battles, then you get that one side prevails and then the other side prevails, and that's how it goes. So that's kind of their frustration. But they said that they don't get battle weary like what we do. And they said, we understand exactly why you would feel that way, why everybody might feel that way. And they said, and the issue is that this period that we're in is worse. And it's because of exactly what we were saying about things, too many things happening too quickly. The advice that they give me was, they said, look, just take a break. Take a break, recharge your batteries, and while you take a break, do something creative. Okay? And that actually reminded me, you know, I found a pen drive and I've got all of these courses that we did together with some beautiful people that I haven't edited and I haven't got them up on my website. And I could, and they could be helping other people to have extra skills. So it's something I'm going to do. So yeah, take a break. I mean, in that, I'm going to go on holiday in about a week's time. And I've decided I'm not going to do loads of videos ahead and get them posted up. I'm just going to have a week off. I hope you don't mind. But I'm going to just chillax and sit on the beach in El Mar Menor and take some sun and swim a bit and do some scuba diving or whatever. Something like that. Yeah. The other day, changing the subject, I listened to somebody who was talking about an interview that Terence McKenna did in 1998. Okay? Terence McKenna, I don't know if you know this. Terence McKenna was he's dead now. He was a seer. It was like a guru. And he spent a lot of time working with hallucinogenics, with LSD, with ayahuasca. He did a lot of work on that and taking it. That was the work he was doing. But I think it opened up his mind so much that he was able to describe what the future was going to be like as though he'd seen it. And so I'll just put a little bit of that video so you can see the things that he was saying.
We are about to take the step out of matter. It's only going to get weirder. The level of contradiction is going to rise excruciatingly, even beyond the excruciating present levels of contradiction. I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. Eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on? It's just too nuts. It's not enough to say it's nuts. You have to explain why it's so nuts. The planet is on a collision course with the most profound event it's possible to imagine. The freeing of organic life from the chrysalis of matter. For 1 billion years there's been life on this planet, but never life that could step outside of matter. But this is obviously what's in the cards. Processes are now in play which so totally rewrite the script that no one can imagine.
what I liked about it was, he was talking about everything speeding up. Well, that just, everybody's saying that it's speeding up. But I liked when he was saying that things are going to get so ridiculous that we're going to have to speak out. Because the way I see us coming from is things have become so ridiculous, but nobody wants to speak out. Why? Because they're all scared. Because the ridiculous has been made normal. The normalization of ridiculousness. And so people were worried about speaking out. And I get the sense that that's changing. I get the sense that people are very much speaking out now. And I think that's only going to grow in size. But also Terence McKenna was referencing this singularity point that we're moving to. Singularity. And I think it was Elon Musk who put it, the singularity is coming. What is a singularity? I haven't got an effing clue. But I asked the emissaries and I said, well, what do you think about this? It's kind of like coming to a point. He was talking about a point of fusion where everything just becomes one or whatever. And they said the singularity, if you want to call it that, it's just a name. But we are reaching a point. But the point is the bifurcation point. So it's the fusion of all of us who are going in one direction and the fusion of all of those who are going to go in the other direction. The sense I get, and what this is, that the timeline that we're on now is the one that the sleeping people are going to stay on. That's it. And we are going to shoot off. We're going to take a slip road, which is what we call in the UK a slip road, coming off the road to a new timeline, which ties up lovely, really nicely with the story in Revelation of the sheep and the goats. And we talked about that we would rather be goats. I would rather be a goat than a sheep. And I think, hey, do you know what? It occurred to me, maybe that story's been turned on its head so that we are supposed to think that we are sheep and that goats are bad, when in fact it's the other way around. That sheep, they're the ones that we don't want to be. Don't be a sheep. People eat sheep, but be a goat, because people eat them, but they're fast and they can jump up trees and cliffs, and then it would be very difficult to catch a goat. It's easier to catch a sheep, although they can be dangerous. I've seen sheep kill people. But in Revelation, getting back to my point, Jesus comes and he takes away all of the goodies. Yeah, where's he take them? To the new timeline. That's what my thinking is. Takes them to the new timeline. And the other ones go off to Gehenna, hell. Now, pardon me for being a little bit sort of abrupt, but I think this is hell, truly. And I've heard people say, well, we're living in hell. And I should think, I don't think so. No, I think hell would be a bit worse than that. But I think now it's become hell. What's going on for me is a hellscape. It's a hellscape. It's horrific. So yeah, no wonder we've got to get the fuck out of Dodge. And whoever Jesus is in that story, and I mean, what that means, we're going to be taken off. So that's what Terence McKenna was saying. The emissaries were saying that people who do that kind of work can get in touch with, they can begin to see the plan and see, connect with the plan. And I think maybe that's what Terence was doing, perhaps after having taken so many things to open his mind. Who knows? So if you need a break too from this mad, mad world, Stop the World, I Want to Get Off. It was a famous, I think, was it a film? Then the advice is to do something creative. Take a break and be the creator. Become the creator. And that's where you're going to find your peace. And that's where I find my peace. I know that when I'm creating, I am in bliss and peace. Why? Because we're being the true essence of who we are. Isn't that right? I love you all, and I'll speak to you all later. So I'll see you in a week or so. Bye-bye.